Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using tarot. Nope, I am using Morgan Greer Tarot. Yep. Supportive Oracle cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. There we go. Already shuffled. What do we got for Virgo? Okay. It's like it seems like you're hitting like two turning points, and then it's all about making the decision. All right, so let's see what we got. That seems to be what we're going through. Like you got two turning points. Once you get past those two, like the two turning points happen, and then it's just about you deciding what needs to happen after that. Let's get into it, and okay, it's a little bit stressful, but I feel like if you just go into it just realizing I need to make a decision, and you make a decision, I think that's going to make all the difference for you. If you just accept that you're going to be the one that has to make the decision, I think you'll be fine. Because when you're going into this, you got rest and rejuvenation and community. Your attitude is to work along with others, to be a piece of the puzzle, to connect and see like what does everybody want? What does the majority want? Whatever the majority wants, let's go with that. This seems to be your attitude. Let's work together. I'm not looking for this just to be my own bag. I want to do this all together. I want everybody to be happy, me included. I want what I'm working for, yes, and I want something out of this. But I'm not looking for just myself. I'm like me and everybody who's involved. I want us to all succeed together. There seems to be an agreement with you and other people. That's how you're going into this. You got contract and temple path in the environment. Like other people seem to be on the same page. I'm worried that there's like the lack of a leader for some reason, or at least the person who is technically the leader is kind of like, well, what does everybody else want? It just seems to be like community effort, community belief. Whatever everybody wants, that's what we will do. It's a very balanced democracy at this point, at least. Everybody's in agreement. This seems good. I mean, it sounds really kind of utopian to me for a minute there. I mean, I like the way it sounds. This makes sense. Great attitude. You seem to have a great attitude. The people around you seem to be on point with it. I don't see a problem at this point. The next part that comes in is the Strength card with the door to spirit. The thing is, if everybody agrees, that's great, but still somebody has to push the first domino, if you will. Somebody has to push that first domino over and get things going. And usually has to be somebody directing the action, saying, okay, we decided we're going to do this. No, somebody has to be in control of it. I'm getting the lack of a leader again. It feels like there's a lack of a leader, and there shouldn't be. It's kind of weird to me. Because it's kind of like, all right, now that we've decided what we need to do, now somebody has to just oversee the total thing and we all work together. But it's still, again, more of a total democracy. But I'm not seeing the movement forward again. Eight of Swords, Four of Cups going up your way. Four of Cups, yep. Four of Cups going up your way. The World card coming in here in the whole situation. Like a whole new situation is supposed to start. There is an energy that you have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is usually a leader, but it doesn't feel like this person wants to be the one overseeing everything. They don't seem to want to stay in that position. It's almost like they want to help it move forward, but they don't want to be the one directing everything. They just don't seem to want that. Yet they do seem to start the ball rolling. They try to push the first domino, and they're like, all right, now that I've pushed the first domino, this should take a life of its own now. So I did that. Now they seem to be receding. The king is usually a leader, but in this, I'm also getting strategy with them, though. They don't they seem to feel like this situation would work out better if they just started off and then they recede and let somebody else pull forward, or other people start taking the situation on its own. Like it should carry itself forward is the attitude. You're on this side, you're very supportive, kind of like, I'm here to do it, I'm here to do my part. You get what you need done. See, this is where the problem happens. This is why there needs to be somebody in control and it's not happening. You take care of what you're responsible for. You uphold your part of the bargain. But the supporting elements are they're not in line yet. Things are not in line. You've done what you need to do. You're on point, but the energy around you is not. This is why there needs to be some type of director or something, because the lack of direction is like people don't seem to be moving forward as they should. They just seem to be kind of floundering a little is what I'm getting. Even though you're holding true to what you need to do, you've got the Page of Pentacles, like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is how I add into it, I took care of my part, here you go. But it's kind of like you made the icing for the cake and nobody's even made the batter yet. It's kind of like the icing's ready to go, but there's no cake. There's no cake. There's no cake. Everybody agreed I would do the icing, so I did it. Everybody agreed it was supposed to be ready today. Here it is, and it's today. I got it. There's no cake. That's due to the lack of direction. At this point, you're kind of like, well, now what do I do? Because Virgo is Earth. I didn't make this icing just to throw it away. I didn't put in this effort just to be like, well, I did it. Wasn't that fun? Bye. Like, you don't create something and put effort into it just as like, oh, so what? How do I put this? Like, you don't save money just to flush it down the toilet. You don't save money just to throw it out the window. You know what I mean? You build something to do something with it. It's kind of like, all right, the attachment's like, now what? I've done my part. It's gonna go to waste if I've made the icing. If I don't have something to put it on, now what do I do? Now what do I do? That's the question. So this is the first turning point. Like, all right, the situation isn't moving forward like it should. We need some type of leader here. And it seemed like it was going to work out. Everybody was in agreement. Everybody was on point. But when push comes to shove and people are supposed to pull their own weight, not everybody's on point with that. You are, but nobody else, not nobody else, but key people aren't. Key people aren't. So there may be other people on point, but key people who need to be aren't. And it's impeding your progress. All right. So you got appreciation with the Moon card. This is your second turning point. So you're like, okay, I made the icing, but there's no cake. Do I make the cake myself? But if I do that, like, am I putting in all this effort? Everybody's getting equal share of the effort I'm putting in, except I'm like putting, like, we're all supposed to get 10%. There's 10 of us, we should all get 10%. But now I'm doing 20 to 30% and still just getting 10% back. And people who are doing nothing are getting 10% back, and they're not putting in anything. This isn't right. So you got the Moon card with appreciation in the sense of like, let me go to the people who are actually keeping up with me and doing what they're supposed to do and see what they think. What should we do? How do we get this moving together? So the appreciation is like, I'm going where things are working correctly. I'm trying to work this out where things are working correctly, and kind of like, all right, I'm doing what I should be. You're doing what you should be, but over here, this isn't working right. What do you think we should do about this? How are we going to reevaluate this? How should we balance this out? I'm a person, like, you put in what you get out. Like, you get out what you put in. I'm one of those people. Kind of like, if you put in the honest effort, you should get the honest effort back out. Everybody who contributes gets what they should out. Like, you put in, you get out. There's a balance to give and take. You shouldn't be just taking, you shouldn't be just giving. You should be giving and taking. And I'm not saying it has to be a strict, like, you put in 5 pennies, you get out 5 pennies. I'm not saying that. But, like, you should be putting in effort, and when you put in effort, you get out something. That's how that goes. And I'm seeing, like, you're trying to work with the other people who are on the same track as you, but you're like, listen, these people over here, they're not doing that. Should they really be allowed a free ride? Because that's not right. This is the second turning point. People are trying to work this out, but it's not working. The Hanged Man with the caring connections are like, people are talking back and forth. People are trying to get things back on track. Kind of like, were you supposed to make that cake? Can you make it today? Can you make it because it was supposed to be ready today? Like, can you get that together? You can't do it today. When can you do that cake? You're not sure when you can do that cake? Okay. This is why the hanged man is showing up. There's effort in the environment, kind of like, you were supposed to do this today. You were supposed to be ready today, whatever it was. And then they're like, well, I can't do it today. Okay, when can you do it? I don't know when I can do it. Okay, so this is a problem. But the hanged man is saying it's not working out. It's not moving forward. Second turning point. Okay, this is the part where you have to make a decision. Either you or somebody that you believe will do it needs to lead. Either you need to lead, or you have to come forward or go forward to somebody who you're like, I know that they will. I know that they will lead. I know that they will do it. And I need to get them moving forward so we can get this to happen. This is what you're leading to. As long as there's indecision, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening here. It's the yin yang with the indecision. If nobody's making the decision, like, this is the balance, like the yin yang. If there's chaos on one side and balance on the other, like, it doesn't seem to work for me. But what I'm getting is, it takes the chaos of having the lack of a leader, the chaos that's there, like, let's try it without a leader almost, and the chaos that it happens because of it, to realize to get things back in order, we need a leader to get to the other side of the yin yang here. That it just feels like the sun and the moon yin yang is what this is, by the way. What'd you do, bud? Oh, it's just knocking over books. Okay, we're good. Never mind. The balance of this, like, the indecision is saying, until somebody makes a decision, it's going to keep going back and forth with this chaotic energy. The yin yang is basically saying, like, the yin yang is basically like, if it's all, even within good things, there's a little bit of bad, and within bad things, there's a little bit of good. But what I'm feeling with this situation is, like, if there's the lack of even in democracy, there has to be somebody who's in control. You know what I mean? There can't be. It's kind of like, even if it's the opposite. Cat is, guys. Sorry. The door to personal happiness depends on somebody taking direction, somebody taking the helm, somebody leading the way. Once somebody leads the way, once somebody chooses to lead the way, things will stabilize completely. Everybody will be very happy. But what I'm getting, like, you don't need, like, an overpowering, over-demanding leader. That could be you. You could be the one going forward with the Page of Swords energy, just overseeing and making sure things keep going. Keeping people on point. Keeping people moving forward. How far are you today? You were supposed to be here. Where are you? Are you not there? If you're not there, why aren't you? If you're not there, who are we going to move this over to? And if we move that over to them, we also are going to give the benefit to them for doing that part. Like, whatever you were going to get out of this for doing your piece, if you're not going to do that, you're not going to get the benefit for it. And, like, whoever does do it, we're going to give the benefit to that person. Somebody needs to take the lead. That's, like, the bottom line of this. It's very uncomfortable. It makes me, like, I don't really want to. This is how I keep feeling. Like, I don't want to be the leader. I keep feeling that. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be the leader. But I'm getting, like, you don't have to be, like, overseeing everything. Just kind of keeping in touch with people. Like, this is what we're going to do now. And then, like, okay, if you don't do your part, then this person can't do their part. If you're not up to speed by this point, I need to move this to somebody else. And if you're not going to do your part, then you're not going to get the benefit out of this. And, like, you may have to be that person that says, either do your piece or you're not going to get your benefit. We're not going to give you a cut of this if you're not going to put in the effort. You know, you can't, if you're not going to, if we're going to do, I don't know why I'm using baking, but if you're not going to contribute to the bake sale, then you're not going to get any of the profit from it either. Basically, that's what you're telling this person. It's either you or somebody else has to take direction, has to take the lead. It doesn't, again, you don't have to be like the overbearing leader, but you have to just keep in contact with people. Are you on point? Are you not? If you're not, who do I need to get to do it? And if you're not going to do it, you're not getting the benefit. That's all there is to it. It can be very simple like that. Somebody has to take the lead. We keep coming back to that point. And I noticed, like, when I got to this point, that's when the cat started jumping around. That's where the dog started barking. And I get the one dog staring me down right now in a very creepy way. She apparently wants to go outside. until somebody leaves, it doesn't have to be you. But if it's not you, you have to nominate. I feel like you need to nominate somebody to, or convince somebody to do it, or talk to somebody and you have to get somebody to do it. If you're not the one leading, somebody else needs to lead, because until somebody does, this situation is going to be a mess. It's going to be a lot of wasted effort. There's going to be a lot of you putting in the effort and time, and it's just not being utilized. You're putting in a lot of wasted effort. And Earth is not about that, and Virgo is Earth. You're not about wasting your time. So if you're not going to be the leader, you got to get somebody else to be the leader. Once the leader is established, this goes a lot better. But this situation does need a leader. And for some reason, it seems to be this almost like utopian feel at the beginning. Like, we don't really need a leader. Just everybody will do what they're supposed to be doing, and we'll just keep going. But it just doesn't work out unless there's some type of leader, somebody making sure things get done. And then things work out. Is there anything else with this? That was weird. The way the energy got a little crazy and the animals started going a little nuts. It just seems like it's hard. It's kind of like saying you hit two bumps, and then you're like, no, this isn't working. Somebody has to make a decision. And I feel like you're in the position to get either you take the lead or you get somebody else to. I'm also feeling like if you're in this situation already and you already see this happening, you don't have to wait for this whole thing to play out. You can start right away and be like, you know what? Maybe we need a leader. Start that conversation right off the bat. Why wait? Why go through all this headache? Just get it taken care of. That's what I would do. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.